I'm a fan of all things Halloween the holiday. Not sure I'm a fan of Halloween Kills the movie. I posted this up on my Instagram, thinking that I'd get some reasonable feedback on whether or not it's worth watching this thing. Come to find out, it's oh, Jesus. I was warned. Let me put it that way. I was warned by quite a few people that it wasn't worth the time. Um, I felt like it was put together by a bunch of people who really wanted to make a movie that maybe had no business making a movie. Like it was more about their little pet project. I can't. Kind of reminds me of Entourage when they tried to do their passion project and what was it, Medellin or something they did, and it came out horrible. This movie was terrible. I I love Halloween and horror flicks and everything in between. This was not enjoyable. Um, I was actually waiting for maybe Kyle will die, right? Like can we see a one of the Real Housewives get chopped up? Nah, that doesn't happen either. It's like everyone else dies in the goddamn movie, but Kyle. I tuned into a little bit of Housewives. I always found that show. The original Orange County is what I thought was a pretty cool concept for a reality TV, and now it's morphed into something completely different. But um, it's like, oh, you want to see one of the Real Housewives get it, and they don't even get it. Like you ruined the whole thing. But I just feel like this wasn't well thought out from the beginning. There, it was basically him going around and killing people with not a whole lot of plot behind it. Um, it seemed like it's like a bunch of random killings. You could have just did a clipper snipper video of 20-minute segments of people just getting butchered, and that was it, with some really basic dialogue done in between. My number one complaint for the whole movie, let's say it was bad acting, let's say it was bad plot, let's say it was bad everything. The one thing I can't get over is how bad the cinematography was. Stylistically, it felt like you were watching it on a fake movie set that was overlit. None of it looked real whatsoever. And I feel like for horror flicks, if you're in the music industry, you'll understand what I'm saying right now. But when you run your master bus through some analog equipment to give it that warmth, or you throw RC20 on a track, try to give it some grit. Where's the RC20 for this movie? Where's the analog warmth? It was this very bright 4-8K, super well lit, fake scene. There was nothing gritty about it. It had no horror style to it whatsoever, other than a bunch of blood and people getting chopped up. And it's the one thing I just find. It's the one thing you feel like you can't always control the bad acting, you can't always control the writing, but you could at least get the visuals done right. You could get the lighting done right, the neighborhood, and everything seems so. It felt like it was like Little House on the Prairie type of environment, and they just dimmed the lights down a little bit. That was my number one complaint. It's I feel like of all the things that you should have gotten right, that was just not right. If you end up rewatching it, just look at how the lighting is. It's one of those things, you can't shoot this kind of shit in 8K or 4. It needs a level of grittiness. I'm not saying you got to shoot a 1950s black and white movie, but it was just too clean for a slasher flick. What's funny is another complaint about the world today. Nobody can do a top anything list and get it right, at least on the mobile experience. I'm looking up like best horror movies of all time, and the websites are so painful to navigate. It's like, do I want to? Yeah, I got to go to like 50. If I want to see the top 50, I got to go to 50 different pages. This is just stupid. But you look at like the top 30-ish so-called, best horror flicks of all time. I mean, the original Saw was good. We'll leave it at that. Scrolling through. I mean, Shaun of the Dead, that was 2004. Nightmare on Elm Street, original, for its time, was a good flick. I've not even heard of some of these. Man, I've not even heard or seen. Paranormal Activity was kind of cool. What else we got here? Man, a lot of stuff that I don't even recognize. Maybe just some of these are really old. I mean, 1981, American Werewolf in London. Not heard of that one. I mean, the Blair Witch Project was okay for what it was. When you look back now and you probably think overrated, but for what it was at that time, and that was 1991. No, 1999. Not bad. I mean, that was over 20 years ago when you think about it. The Wicker Man pops up here. 28 Days Later was interesting. The original Halloween, 1978. I mean, Jaws is on the list. Aliens on the list. Scream. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather watch any of these on any given day over this flick. Another one I haven't heard of. I mean, The Thing. The John Carpenter type deal. I mean, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Gritty as hell, right? The Shining, 1980. I mean, whole different level of stuff here. Again, Halloween weekend is Devil's Night. If you're in Detroit, Devil's Night used to be a thing. I was a kid that ran around like toilet paper to everyone's houses and shit. But I'm gonna throw a horror flick on and watch this thing. Like right from the get go, I'm just looking at the lighting and how they're whatever their cameras are shooting it with or the coloring. It was just off. It looked like it should have been this like bright, happy set for some business movie or something. George Clooney should be popping up in a suit and drinking espresso. Right from the get-go, the vibe was off. And then the whole plot and the whole story just didn't work. It was like completely just a bunch of random slashings tied together with some like throwbacks. We wonder why, people don't want to go to the movies anymore. This is why. Every once in a while they seem to nail a comic book based movie, and the rest of the time we're sitting here wondering, is it worth it? And most of the time it seems like it's not. So feel free to watch it. It's after Halloween now. You probably won't. I'm late to the party on this one, but I just had to say something as a fan of Halloween, which I had my 90 minutes back. So that's all I got for this one. I'm going to catch you on the next one.